Hello and welcome to this edition of Politics on FR24. If you live in France, you probably learned a new word in recent months, the word burqa. This is the name given here to the full Islamic veil and also the subject of a major political battle since President Nicolas Sarkozy claimed last summer that the burqa was not welcome in France. So a parliamentary mission has been working on a series of recommendations, holding dozens of hearings. The mission is expected to hand in its final report early next week. So with me here on the set are two members of that mission who will probably be able to give us some inside information. First of all, Sandrine Mazetier from the Socialist Party. Hello. Also here is Jacques Millard from the ruling UMP Party.
Good morning.
Also on the set is Tom Hennigan, who is the religion editor with Reuters. Hello. And via satellites from Beirut, where she's an associate scholar at the Carnegie Middle East Center, is Amel Boubekeur. Hello.
Hi.
So in an ideal world, everybody would wait for the conclusions of the parliamentary mission. But politics is not exactly an ideal world. And so as the debate on national identity rages on, leading politicians have weighed in on the issue of the burqa. Most agree about the need to ban the full veil, which is seen as a symbol of oppression of women and as a way of promoting radical Islam. So the leader of the UMP group at the National Assembly, Jean-François Copé, has already said that he would introduce the bill envisioning a law banning the burqa in all public spaces. President Nicolas Sarkozy himself has weighed in, offering a more nuanced solution. A parliamentary resolution followed maybe by a law, but a more modest and a more consensual law. Here's how his closest advisor, Claude Guéant, put it last weekend.
The President said clearly that he believes a law would be necessary. Now, the debate will obviously be a partial ban or a full ban. All this under the watchful eye of the Constitutional Council and the European Court of Human Rights, given our international commitments.
So, Mr. Millard, you're a member of that mission. The work is more or less done. What is the mission going to recommend?
Well, of course, I could say wait until Tuesday morning, but
I won't.
Yeah, I know. It's no more secret that we don't all agree. We all agree that this is not something acceptable, that we condemn morally this kind of cloth for the face, and we cannot accept it. But then, of course, we have different views on how to achieve so that this phenomenon stops in France. I personally believe that we need a law. So some others say we should dialogue, we should, let's say, teach, we should really start to convince those ladies not to wear the burqa or the niqab. And some say then we need a resolution, a political stand of the parliament to, let's say, put it very clearly that this is not acceptable, but not to pressurize as a law will do. I think it will be useless. I do believe that we need the three items: a law, a resolution, and of course dialogue, and to work with association to convince those people not to wear such cloth, which is very, for many French, outrageous, because we judge it as, let's say, something which is oppressing women, and this is against dignity of women, against equality of sex, and we are the victims because she prevents not to see a face, which is absolutely against all French traditions.
So just to make sure I understand, a resolution for our viewer is a new tool that's essentially an affirmation of Republican principles. It does not have the power of a law. You also favor a law, a ban in all public spaces,
yes,
because the
clearly.
differences are important.
Yes, everywhere. You cannot say you can accept
in the street,
as long as it is judged as something which is against equality of sex, against dignity of a person, that means woman. I mean, you cannot accept it on one way and forbid it on the other way. So I think you have to have a general prescription.
Okay. Ms. Mazetier, what's your view and maybe the view of the Socialist Party, at least the members of that mission?
Yes, the view of the Socialist Party is that a law is not necessary. We consider the full veil or the full Islamic veil as a little issue. compared to the real issue that concern all French people. You know, maybe there is less than 2,000 women in France wearing this kind of clothes. This year we will have 1 million people without any revenue because of unemployment. That's the real problem. That's the real issue.
So you're opposed to a law. Some socialists are in favor of a law, actually.
We are opposed to a law.
Any law? Any law?
Any law, because we consider French Republic as powerful as battle against this kind of behavior. We consider that we have
enough means already.
Enough law, enough means to fight against this behavior.
Okay, but would you be in favor of a resolution which is more symbolic, but a resolution saying, for example, the burqa is banned on the territory of the French Republic or something like that? Do you think that would, or even you're also against that?
We consider that a resolution now with this majority, with this government, is not a good way to express unanimity, because this government launched 2 months ago a debate on national identity. With a bad debate and a debate to hide real problems.
Because just to make sure I understand, there's supposed to be a vote on within the mission, where the members of all parties, as we can see, are the socialists going to vote in favor of what's going to be recommended or not? Not all. All the socialists are going to vote against it.
We won't participate to the vote.
Okay, so as we now see, there won't be an unanimous recommendations.
Well, may I add something? That, of course, in our own party, UMP, there are people who are opposed to a law. But, Sandrine, you know perfectly that your stand is only politically against the government as such, and there are many socialists who are in favor of a law.
But you are against Nicolas Sarkozy also.
No,
apparently.
well, he said.
He wants a more modest law.
No, I know. But what is a modest law? You know, I'm sorry.
In public administrations and not in the street, for
services,
example.
I think it will be a mistake because it won't eradicate the phenomenon. I think, you know, even if my president say you should do that, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm not a soldier obeying. I'm an MP, a free MP, and I act according what I believe. You know,
very
so
good.
This is very clear.
This is very clear, Tom Hannigan. What's your take on all this debate?
Well, I think just right here we've seen the demonstration of the fact that this is a political football. I think we have to remind the viewers that an election is coming up in March. Regional elections are coming up. And, of course, the President Sarkozy started this debate in order to have a certain discussion. Remember, the socialists have 20 of the 22 regions in metropolitan France, and he wants to take some back, of course. And he has to have a campaign issue. I think this has really been a political football. And it's a bad debate. I don't think government should be debating national identity. That's something for civil society. That's something for academics. But governments have to make laws then. And how are you going to make the law? For example, if you ban a full facial veil in public, are you going to do it on the street? Are you going to stop women on the street? Are police going to stop them and fine them 750 euros as asked? Or if you say, well, we'll do it just in the public service, just in the city hall, for example, or in the hospital. What about the bus? If you're allowing it on the street, you have to take off your veil.
Good point. That's why it should be generally banned.
I think that will stigmatize the Muslim community here so much. I think that people should not be allowed to walk around with masks on. And I think there's a general consensus in France on that. But bringing this up as a resolution now, just before an election, is making a political issue out of it, rather than trying to deal with this
we'll go to
as a question
First
of the
of all,
society.
when you say it's a political football, I'm sorry, it is not. This is something which strikes really a huge majority of French women and French men. Secondly, the initiative of this mission, of this debate, has come from the left, not from the right UMP. It has come from Mr. Gérin, who is a member of a communist party in France. Who
started the national identity debate, which is a
different.
wider debate.
I'm not talking about
this is all in a context.
Confused. I'm sorry, Tom. I never confused both debates. I even did not take part in the national debate because I'm chairing, a club which is Nations and Republic. So for me, it's a permanent debate. So I'm not confusing things. We have a genuine problem in here because maybe today we have 2,000 of women wearing this veil, but in fact there were none few years ago. Okay. So I think this is not something you can contrary to say this political football. You are wrong.
Okay, no, Amel Boubekeur, we'll come back to that. We'll just bring in Amel Boubekeur from Beirut. What's your take on this French debate on the burqa, not the national identity? Today is the burqa.
Yeah. Well, first you can see that the terms of debate have evolved a lot comparing to, for example, 2004. It has evolved in Europe because it was still, feelings were shared between the need to forbid the veil or not. And when it came to the burqa, everybody agreed on the need that, or at least on the fact that the burqa was something not acceptable, even among the huge majority of Muslim communities. So that's one evolution. You have also those women who have evolved themselves. For example, we have seen them on the screens, which was not something that usual before. They came on TV, they explained what their choices were and why they choose to wear the burqa and so on. So we had the thing that we had much more information that the controversy around the veil that happened and occurred in 2004. That's one thing. And they also evolved in the sense that they publicly say that they, in terms, for example, of identification, they will agree to put off their veil and so on. But what has not evolved, on the contrary, is the terms of the debate. We still don't know what the issue is regarding the law and hold the controversy. 6 months after consultations among the commission and so on, we still don't know what the issue is going to be. Is that going to be a security issue? You need to ban the niqab because these women need to be seen and identified. Is it a migratory issue? Is it a migratory trait? We have heard some, for example, arguments that maybe these women should be deprived from French nationality. Is it an attempt to the women's rights? Is it against the Republican values and so on? So all the issues have been merged and mixed. And of course, when you don't know what the issue is, you don't know what kind of responses you have to bring to this problem. So the first step will be to clarify why we need a resolution or law, whatever, on the niqab. What is exactly the justification for banning the niqab in the public spaces? Okay,
very good. So you're asking the question, I don't need to do it. Can you answer that question?
I totally agree with Amel Boubekeur. The problem is, what does it mean for French Republic? For us, we condemn full veil all over the world, not only in France, because it means women oppression, and it's a scandal that we can prepare a law that will prevent, that will forbid women, oppressed women, wearing not voluntarily these clothes to enter in France, to to join French Republic.
I mean, Mr. Miao, there have been those arguments have been mentioned in front of the mission, whether it's a security argument, human rights, women's rights. What's the underpinning of a law, if there is one?
There is, of course, and in fact, you will read in the report that, of course, what Hamel is asking, the answer are there.
So give us the answers.
It's very easy. It's a notion of public order, but not a public order like you said, in the 19th century. Public order is reigning in Warsaw because, of course, the police is eating people. Not that. It's a public order. It's entire rules of a society in which women has always been equal. Women never had a veil for thousands of years, and this kind of veil hurts directly the spirit of a whole nation. And this is of course, there is no law saying it, because everyone admits it, that women never had any veil. And Mrs. Badinter used a very nice expression. In our society, there is no class of the face, because the face is the identity of the person. And if you prevent me to see your face, you just inflict me something that I cannot admit. So I think that what she asked is, of course, answered in the report. Wait a few days, Hamel, and you will see, you will study it. It's a notion of a public order in which you have the value of equality of sex, you have the dignity of person, you have security order, as Tom mentioned then. So this is a whole thing that is the custom and law of this country.
Tom, just the last word on the first part of this program. Do you sense that security is the main argument, the main legal argument that's going to be used behind this law?
No. I think the argument we put in these terms of women's dignity and equality, which are certainly very good values, but that's a bit vague. And I think Amel's point about, well, what exactly are we talking about then, will make it difficult to make a law.
Vague, Tom? Equality of sex is vague?
No,
dignity of person is vague? Please.
No, but to put this into a law, you're going to have a very hard time.
This is the corpus of a society.
And I think, wait a minute, I think one thing that is... Excuse me,
just very, very quickly, because we need to go to a break.
Okay, let me...
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Because then you're going to be faced with some common accusation or complaints among the Muslim community, which is double standard. If it's a matter of public security, why have you focused so much on the Muslim community? That's the argument that is going to be raised in public discussion. That's an argument and the debate that also the political policymakers should be ready to answer.
Okay.
Because then you are going to have the same feeling of double standard.
I have to cut you off. I'm sorry, but we have to take
sure.
a break, and we'll be right back after the news.